Got new gods and goddesses, kings and queens. God knows God and you, the knives of greeting, family, allies, and enemies. What's happening? It's a double, right? So look, man, I had to come and do this. I had to come and do this video because what happened was, no, I just said below. Okay, because I found out 3 soldiers just got killed in the in Afghanistan. It's going on like 17 years, and I had put up. Somebody had put up a post, let the Middle East countries implode on itself. And I replied, the United States would implode first. And then I put, look at police corruption, the big banks we pay for, and laws like you can't collect rainwater. The person replied back, said, Sharia law is better? Stupid cunt. I didn't say anything about Sharia law. We talking about imploding. And we're talking about feeding in on itself, right? So if we was go compare and contrast, the United States is really on the edge of that and leading the race out of all the other countries on the planet in implosion. But, you know, somebody else coming, everybody else, I can't say everybody, the majority of the people understand and see. People outside the United States see what the United States is. But now let's go to the Africa map. No, wait, let's go to the Middle East map. So I'm going to say this because they have a lot of people, mainly white supremacists, like to say things like, we fought for your freedoms and the United States fought for your freedoms. And I wish I had my other book. I'm going to bring it up later. It's on this shelf, the compensatory code, and I don't want to stop the video for that. They go get it. But I do have my book, The Double V. Now, in reading the book, The Double V, and going through this history of Africans in the United States, actually in the military that the people that are brothers and sisters that's not stand up for the national anthem or the Pledge of Allegiance and how they disrespected the military, just to look at how the military disrespected us all through history. There is no amount of disrespect that an African can do to the United States military that can even equal what we've been through. So they got a particular brother in here. Matter of fact, the brother kicks the book off at September 28, 1918. This is about Corporal Stowers and how he took Hill 188. It was the 371st Infantry. They took the hill. The German came to him and was like, hey, homie, look, y'all go smash on us and we want to stop fighting. And look, we surrender. So they took him and they walked up to about to give him for his surrender. And then all of a sudden, everybody jumped out. The Germans coming out like, look, yeah, man, we surrender. Y'all tearing us up. Then once they got close, they all jumped back up in, what was the whistle? They jumped back in their heels and they started busting on the American troops. Stowers seen a turret and start going towards the turret, opened fire on him. Boom, boom, boom. Served it. Laid him down. They looked to the hill, he see another one. So he start heading towards that one. Bullets ripped through his body. He's still crawling. Bullets hitting. He's still crawling. And after the bullets was too much for him, and he was like, he kept going, telling everybody keep going, directing them, right? His troops, they take the hill. And after they take the hill, it was all the way. Matter of fact, let me at least read that. It was actually 1991. So you got to think from 1918 to 1991. In his remarks at Corporal Stowers' Medal of Honor, Stowers Medal of Honor presentation, President Bush did not mention the young hero had served in a segregated army. The squadron Stowers led, the company to which it belonged, its larger regiment and division consisted of Africans communicated as his command mostly by white officers. So one thing that this book got wrong is that they was calling the brothers in here that was going through the segregational times African Americans, and around that time they wasn't calling us African Americans, and we wasn't African Americans or even considered Americans at that time. So just to look at that, so we gotta look at the mindset of the people that say, well, you disrespected the military, There's a book called Invisible Empire. Now, I got this book by going to a gun show. I looked at the price. The price tag was on the book. I pulled out the money for the book. I handed the guy the money for the book before I even picked the book up. He accepted the money, and then I picked the book up. See, it was on like a display, like it wasn't for sale. But when I picked it up, like after he took the money, it wasn't no. He was gave it to give money. And I was like, man, go ahead and keep the change, $20, keep the change, and I walked away. All right, cool. You don't need a bag. I don't need a bag. I'm out of there. It was another book that I should have got, but I got this one. And let me read to you the mindset. Now, this is about the Ku Klux Klan, the Invisible Empire. Now, the very same mindset, like, is still in the people today. Gotta read this to you. A carpetbagger who was whipped by the Ku Klux Klan in Mississippi voluntarily commented on their discipline and generally good behavior when they honored him with their attention. They treated me very courteously, he said, except the beating they gave me, but otherwise I was not insulted or treated unkindly at all. One of them commenced to curse. He began, "God damn." It says, when the captain stopped him and said he should not do that, they were civil in their manner. It says, it is difficult to understand how the sting of the lashes could in any degree be ameliorated by the polite manner of the flogger. It says, but this victim seemed to appreciate being whipped in a courteous and gently manner. It says manly manner. Homie. So basically it was like, oh, man, you know what? Homie, I don't mind being whipped by you. Cause you so cool. Nigga, whip me, it's cool. Like, come on. The mindset of the person that wrote this book, when I read through this book, then it was like, some of the Negroes love the Ku Klux Klan. Like, homie, are you serious? The paintbrush that you using for this book to try to make it seem like it was just gracious institution and it served the community so well. That, homie, come on, man. Come on. Keep it 100. So, what I'm looking at, and by them saying that, hold on. United States fought for our freedom. Let's get back to that. Because I hit you with the truth, then the mindset. Now let's go with that. We're at, this is called the Middle East, but I would still consider this a part of Africa, but I'm not, but whatever. Asia, whatever y'all want to call it. Okay. We're at, over here, is the Africans and Americans' freedom. Where is it? It's not in Iran. Not in Afghanistan, because they went in Afghanistan and bombed the hell out of it. We still getting shot by the police. It's not in Iraq. They did not say we found African Americans' freedom in Iraq. They didn't say nothing about it in Afghanistan. They didn't say nothing about it in Qatar. They didn't say nothing about it in Yemen. They didn't say nothing about it in Pakistan. Man, really, in none of the Damascus, they didn't say Lebanon. They did not say they found our freedoms over there. So it must be in Africa. You feel me? Because we hear white supremacists say go back to Africa all the time. So when we start looking at Africa, U.S. military bases in Africa, let's go first. Okay, so we got United States troops over there in Africa. And if they got over there like that, did they say anything about our freedoms? I just don't understand. What I don't understand is, and then I want to know what war, since it's disrespectful not to stand for that punk ass national anthem, y'all call it punk ass, and we're disrespecting the troops. Okay, what war did the United States fight for us and for our freedoms? What war? Abraham Lincoln famously quoted, "If I could save the Union without freeing any slaves, I would do it. If I could save it by freeing all the slaves, I would do it. If I could save it by freeing some and leaving others alone, I would also do that." Abraham Lincoln. So, the war of the Civil War was not for that reason. Why we joined it? Yeah, we joined it for that reason. And all throughout the book, you will see that the Africans in America, because African American is a dumbass term, once again, if I didn't say it already, that they was trying to prove to the Europeans, to the British and the Spanish and the whites here, that look, we are a man too, and we can fight for the country. We worth something. Like, you know what I mean? Trying to get down, like trying to be down. Like, you feel me? So, at what point did it turn, you know what? You're right. You are somebody, and we're going to fight for you. When did that happen? Right now, today, they had something called Black Lives Matter. The white supremacists came out in droves and started fighting against Black Lives Matter, even though the real ones ain't feeling that movement. You know what I'm talking about? But they was calling it a terrorist organization. A terrorist organization. Obama was okay with this BIE legislation, and it was 6 police officers that was killed over like a 10-year span, and it's black identity extremists. When we start looking at how many Africans in America are American Africans being unarmed, innocent, killed by police, and there's no legislation. Are the American troops fighting the police officers? I just don't understand where this fight that they talking about taking place. I just don't see it. I mean, I don't know where in the world is it taking place. Because here, the police, the troops, they are troops, American troops, are attacking us. And the military troops are not there because of us. What war? Please name the war that they fought for our freedoms. I would love to see that. I would love, and I would like to read about it. Because I Googled it. I'm going to keep it 100. Nothing came up. Nothing came up. And let's go with the 5 things. And let me tell you what did come up. Start looking up this things about Abraham Lincoln. 5 things you may not know about Lincoln. Slavery and emancipation. Lincoln was not an abolitionist. Lincoln didn't believe that blacks should have the same rights as whites. Let's see, what else? Lincoln thought colonialization could resolve the issue of slavery. Emancipation was a military policy. And number 5, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't actually free all the slaves. So, I mean, if you want to try to use Lincoln, homie, that's just dead that. So, at what point, where is the war for our freedom? Where is it at? Because DNA, you could call DNA the war for freedoms, because a lot of men got freed out of jail because of DNA. The war on drugs was the United States government putting drugs in our community to attack it and then wage war on us. I'm trying to figure out, what war are you fighting for us? Because I could point at wars you fought against us, but not for us. But, yeah, slip double, and I'm gone. Zoom.